All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves going. My name's Pedro Linares, and I am the worship pastor here at Life Point Church. Privileged to just celebrated my 20th year serving here at Life Point and First Baptist Eustis. Yep. And I've been here for all the Night to Shines or the Night to Shine drive-thrus that we've done because of COVID. And so we're super excited to finally be back at this point where we can be back to in-person and be able to have some fun. The drive-thrus were fun, but they were hard too, because they wanted to get out of their cars and dance and be a part of what was going on, and that wasn't allowed. But very, very grateful to have all of you here this afternoon. I know that you probably would rather be at home taking a nap because that's probably where I will head after this. But so very grateful for you wanting to make a difference in the lives of these families. It's a huge, huge impact. And so what I'd like to do right now is introduce to you one of my absolutely best friends, and that's our pastor, Jonathan Pearson, Pastor JP. So he's going to come and just welcome you guys and share in a prayer, and then we're going to go ahead and get started into the flyer that you have.
Thank you, Pastor Pedro. How y'all doing tonight? Man, I'm so excited that Night to Shine is back. And one of the things for Life Point Church, especially this year, is this is the year of community impact. And the fact that Night to Shine is back on campus is just fantastic. I can't wait. It's one of our favorite events. It's a lot of work, and it takes all of you, all of us working together to get it done. But it truly is one of the most amazing events that we do all year long. And so I'm super grateful that not only is Life Point able to have a community impact, but we have the community represented here with a bunch of different organizations, a bunch of different groups. And this is when the church, Big C Church, gets to come together and be God's hands and feet as we love on and minister to our community in a very, very intentional and purposeful way. And the scripture says we do these things unto the least of these, right? And sometimes when we think of our special needs community, that might be the way you think. I want you to turn that around. I think we're the least of these, and they're the ones that we have the privilege of serving, and what a joy Night to Shine is. So the best way to kick all of this off, in my opinion, is to go before the Lord. Will you join me as we pray and ask God to bless our time together? Father, we bow humbly in your presence. There's nothing about us that deserves your love, your grace, and your mercy. But God, you shower it on us anyway. Father, as we tonight talk and learn and get prepared for celebrating Night to Shine, I pray, God, that you would hide each of these here, including myself, in the shadow of your mighty wings. That, God, you would teach us what we need to learn, that we would fall deeper in love with you as we have the opportunity and privilege of serving our community through this just incredible and special event. And that, Lord, we ask that you would prepare the hearts of our special guests that will be coming to experience and enjoy this evening, as well as the caregivers. And God, that we would truly be your hands, your feet, sharing your love with our community as we have this privilege to work and care for this event called Night to Shine. So, Lord, we're so grateful for the blessing that this is for this church, but not just for Life Point, First Baptist Eustis. God, we're grateful for what this means to our community. And so, Lord, may you be present in everything we say and do. Father, guide and direct our time together. Let it be pleasing into your presence, but more importantly, God, let it be powerful in our lives, that we would have the privilege of serving you as we serve our community. So, God, we love you, we praise you, we lift all of this to you in Jesus' name. And all God's people said, amen. Turn it back to Pedro.
Thank you, sir. All right. So if you guys would, for right now, what I'd like to do is share with you all, let me get this quickly set up, and it is up. All right. I want you to pay attention to the screen and hear a special message to you from the organizer, founder, creator of this event, Night to Shine, Tim Tebow. Go ahead and share that video.
Hey, what's up, volunteers? I truly just want to say thank you so much for saying yes to being a volunteer. Hey, what's up,
Hold on a
volunteers?
second. Go ahead and stop that.
I truly just want
Let's
to
try
say
that
thank
one more
you so
time.
much for saying yes to being
So
a
go ahead
volunteer
and clear
at Night to Shine.
all.
It really is.
There you go. Now go ahead and start it again. There we
Hey,
go.
what's up, volunteers? I truly just want to say thank you so much for saying yes to being a volunteer at Night to Shine. It really is my favorite night of the year. It's how me and my wife met. It's not just my favorite year because this is something that God put on our heart years ago. It's my favorite night of the year because I get to see so many of you guys loving so well. I get to see so many volunteers walking kings and queens down a red carpet and cheering for them and celebrating them in a way that most have never been celebrated. And I just hope you understand how important your role is. Your role as a buddy, your role as someone that's cheering on the red carpet, your role as someone that is crowning someone. Your role might be in the back, but how important that role is and how we all fulfill our roles with excellence, because every single one of those lives is worth us doing it with excellence. You see, it might just be a night where we can volunteer, but it's a night where they might actually understand that they're loved, that they have worth, that they have value. So let's do our jobs with excellence, because there's a lot, and I mean a lot, at stake. So thank you for saying yes. And I hope you understand the magnitude of what you're saying yes to, because I don't believe it's just a prom night. I believe it's a worth night, a value night, a love night, where people for the first time in their life might understand that. It's a special night. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for partnering with us, because who knows what God's going to do, but I think he's up to pretty big things.
That's right. Thank you for volunteering, and thank you for being a part of what, as he said, a worth night, showing the value of each and every individual, regardless of their situation. We believe here at LifePoint that Christ came for all, not just for the rich or the poor. He came for all of us because of the love that he has for us. And so we're grateful that we have this opportunity to share that love with those that will come. And it's not just the buddies, it's not just the guests that are coming, but it's the caregivers and it's the parents who, work in that environment or serve or have that environment 24/7. And so we're giving them an opportunity on Friday night to have, however long that might be, 2 hours, 3 hours, where they get to get loved on, where they get to get pampered, and again reminded of how important and how valuable they are. So thank you for what you're going to do. And as he said, we want to do it absolutely with the utmost excellence. And so thanks for being here. There's absolutely no coincidence, I believe, that you have signed up, that you are a part of this. I believe that God has brought you here for this purpose, and he has a very special job for you to do. So thank you again for being here. So I want to go ahead and begin with the flyer that you have in hand. We're going to talk about this and about the different areas. So if you look over the order of events, so you're going to want to go, yeah, there you go. So grateful for Miss Deborah Davenport up at the top. She's running the computer for us tonight. And so very grateful for that. So she's going to put up on screen this exact flyer that you have in your hands. So this is the actual order of events for that specific night. And you can see there. Now, order of events, 4 o'clock is what we're asking for folks to begin arriving. As you come, we're going to ask you to park as you come into the property, as you did onto the campus. If you hang a hard left, there's a full area under the oak trees over here, field open area, so that we can leave the parking over on this end for those guests and buses and things like that that may show up from group homes. We want to have that area as much as possible for that. We also have the area along the building over here that can also be used by you for parking, because we will direct all of our guests to park over to this side on the east side of the building, so you can take the west side. Okay, so please remember that. And so 4 o'clock is just so that we can start getting everyone here. You're dressed, you're ready to go. At 5 o'clock, we actually bring everybody up here and we take this one massive picture of the entire team, which is a lot of fun. And then we begin the process of heading to our stations and getting ourselves ready then as our guests begin arriving at 6 o'clock. So our doors open at 6. And that's over in our preschool entrance to this side, and we'll look over the map in just a few moments. But from 6 to 6:30, what happens is our guest registration. It's our check-in. We meet our buddy. We receive our flowers. Personal items are left at coat check. The caretakers are escorted to the respite room. All of that happens. The buddy then takes the guest to the worship center for the red carpet crowning. And photo. You stay until the end of a video that we share at 6:30. So let's talk about that 6 to 6:30 moment for a second. So for everyone that's going to be a buddy, you will actually line up. We're going to have chairs. When you go out these doors and you go all the way down, there's a preschool hallway. That's one long hallway. At the very end of that hallway on the right side is what we call our sensory room. So should there be a guest that gets overwhelmed or overworked and they need a quiet space, a place where they can go and kind of recenter, that's where we'll have a team that will help them there. And you would stay with your buddy there until that time then arrives that they're ready to come back into the activities. But down that hallway, we'll have chairs along the walls, and that's where all our buddies are going to then hang out at this 6 o'clock hour. I'll be on a microphone. We're going to have part of our team that will be there. And as folks then begin to come through and they're processed, we will then begin to grab you and go, all right, I got you. Yeah, I need a female, to pair with this young lady. I need a gentleman to pair with this young man, and we'll pair you together, and then you'll walk through the process. Like it says, you'll go from there into our choir room, which is where they'll then sit for a few moments. They'll be called forward. They'll have their flowers pinned on, and then they'll begin to walk what we call our hall of fame, because this hallway along the wall, we actually will be putting this week 130-something stars all the way up and down the wall of all their names. And so they will, throughout the night, find their names, and then they'll be able to take those with them as they go through the night. So they walk the Hall of Fame as they come over to our coat check area. And so should there be something that they brought that they don't want to hold on to, maybe it's a coat, maybe it's a purse, maybe, we don't know. But what we do is we use the Publix brown paper bags. And so we put into those paper bags whatever items they are. We staple them shut. We write their names on them. And then that bag is taken after some time into the registration area. And at the end of the evening, when they come back through, they pick up their guest bag and so forth. And then any personal items they pick up to take with them as they go out. Once they've passed that coat check area, they come into registration, which is right behind us in rooms 102 and 103. They go through that process of receiving their name tags, and that we'll talk about as well in just a few moments. And then at that point, those that are serving in the area of greeters would then escort those caregivers, parents, down our hallway and all the way back to what we call our respite room, which is just an awesome place for them to be pampered and enjoy. Sonny's Barbecue is providing all the food for them there, and we've got a couple massage chairs that are going to be there with folks giving shoulder massages and hand massages and not foot massages. But they're going to have a great time. And one of the cool things that we do is that once they go in there, it's really just a hangout. It's for them to be able to connect with others that, are walking through the same things in life, and just share together. We've got folks that will be in there as well that'll be encouraging them and talking through, again, life issues like that with them and just offering love and encouragement and so forth. But then they have the freedom to, after they've eaten, they can come and walk all around. They can come and be a part of what's going on in here or go into some of the other rooms and see all of that. At the same time, we will actually be sending a live stream from this room into that room. So they can actually see all that's happening in this room while they're there if they choose not to go around. So our greeters then will escort those folks in there as then our guests and buddies then begin to come into this room. And laid out on the floor over here, we already have our red carpet so that we can get all the kinks out. But they will get to walk through this red carpet, and all those folks that are, paparazzi and our dance floor participants and all that, everybody's cheering and having a great time and, really encouraging them as they come through. And over here on the side, they'll get a professional picture that's going to be taken, and that picture then gets put in a frame, and they get that at the end of the night, along with their guest bag and so forth. But we come all in here, and then we get to have what's called a crowing ceremony. Did you see it? 6:30, Tim Tebow Foundation video and crowing ceremony with Pastor Pedro and JP. We have been practicing. Caw-caw! Yes, we have. Sorry, it's a big typo, okay? We're not crowing, we're crowning. Okay? My son over here, he's like, Dad, well, you're going to be crowing? I use it when I'm turkey hunting, but not for this, okay? So, no. But seriously, in all seriousness, we will have over to this side a wonderful table that's going to have all of the crowns and tiaras right here that they then will receive. And you as a buddy then have the opportunity and the honor, really, to, when it comes to that point, to be able to place that crown or tiara then on your buddy's head. And it's a special, special moment as we walk through that. And then once that's done, at 6:35, then all of our stations open. And those stations are, as it shows, are Dancing with DJ Ron from Accent Design. He's going to be doing all of our DJing in here. He provides all of our photography. He provides a photo booth that's in here that's just fun with all kinds of crazy stuff. They provide the karaoke room and all the songs and things that'll be done there. So this room opens up. This year, we're actually adding over to this far side over here, kind of a game area with some cornhole. We've got a person coming that's making all kinds of cool cotton candy things that's going to happen. We've got a popcorn area as well, and so some fun things in here that we've not had before in the past. Then our hair and makeup, and they all just go along this side. Hair and makeup happens. Lisa Mendito is going to be in there with her team, and Lisa is a professional hairstylist for Walt Disney World, and she's always doing all the princesses and all that kind of stuff. So we're super excited to have her with us as she's doing that. Our shoe shine is room 108, which is on the far end, and that's old school. The shoe shine boxes, the valet boxes, you put your foot on there and you shine them up, and have a good time with that. And that's going to be a special time there for the guys that go into that area. We decided to separate those. In the past, they've been together, but decided to separate those so that the guys could have their own area and the ladies could have their own area. Our guest dining is right over to this side, and they've got all their favorite kind of things there: Chick-fil-A nuggets, pizza, mac and cheese, fruit trays, salad trays, all sorts of stuff, cupcakes. That all takes place. Our karaoke room is right across here, rooms 106 and 107, and we do have a limited playlist for that, because you can imagine how overwhelming it can be to try to find a song to sing. And so we find that if we just give them a list of songs, and then once they get up there and they begin, we give them the opportunity to go through one verse and a chorus of the song, and then we fade it out. So it allows more people, to participate than singing the entire song. Our sensory room, I've already shared about that. Down our preschool rooms, should something happen there. Our limo rides, I'd ask you to be praying about that. And if you have a source for us, we're still working on that. We have an ask out right now, and we've not gotten response on that. But then the idea also came up that if we could find folks that had convertible cars or old school, classic cars that we could have that you can at least get 3 to 4 people in, then we could do the same thing. And it starts here, and they basically drive around the building and then come back and they drop off in the same place they pick up. So if you know of anyone out there that's got a classic car or a convertible, things like that we could also use, please see me immediately afterwards. And then our photo booth, which happens in here, 8:15, the stations close. 8:30, we all come back in here and go through this process of then beginning our dismissal. DJ Ron plays a few more songs. We then have numbers that are listed across the the building in here, and then on their specific name tag, they'll have that number, which is 16 to 30 or whatever. But they will gather under those areas, and we dismiss them by those numbers. And then they go back out these doors through registration, pick up their things, and then they go out that area. So buddies assist guest and caretaker in picking up picture, gift bag, and belongings. Be sure to check coat check area, escort them outside to the curb, and let them go into their car or lead them to the special parking assistance for additional help. And then the last thing is on the backside, you see the map. And everything I just said is right there on the map. It's pretty self-explanatory. But a couple things that I do want to draw your attention to is that we've got restrooms outside of those doors, but then we also have restrooms outside these doors. The restrooms outside these doors are only for our volunteers, and they will be listed that way, volunteer restroom only. Any of our guests that need to use the restroom will be taken to these restrooms over here where we have restroom patrols, okay? Restroom patrols are there to help, not necessarily help them use the bathroom, okay? Catch what I'm saying. But they're there to help maintain and limit the time. So to help them out of there and help them move on to the next part. Should there be a need, an emergency or need, let's say you may have a buddy that's in a wheelchair. How do I help them? Well, then that's where you would locate where it says emergency medical, which is our Children's Discovery Island area. And so our team that's here for emergency medical will help in assisting situations like that, okay? So be aware of that. So also then, room 109, it's just above where it says baptismal rooms. NTS storage bins. At the end of the evening, we do ask for assistance in beginning to kind of take down what we've put up. And we have found in the past that if it worked out really well this year for us already, is that we assigned a plastic bin or 2 or 3 to each area. And everything that was in that room that's Night to Shine is taken down and put nice and neat into that bin. And it's already labeled. And then so when next year comes up, we just open the bin and say, and the fairies put it all up. It just happens, you know. And so it just worked really, really well. So we would ask you, don't just take something down and then put it somewhere. If it's taken down, there's a specific bin for it. And so even the hallways, this hallway has a bin, that hallway has a bin. And all that will be located in that room. So depending on the area you're working in, somebody can send, maybe that leader can send someone to room 109. We're going to have the bins there labeled on the wall with a sticky or something that says respite room or says, whatever, and we'll walk through that. And I think that's about all I need to say at this point. I know that we have some folks here tonight or this afternoon that have signed up today and you have yet to be assigned to a specific task. So when we conclude, I need to see you because I have all of that here and I can begin that process to get you then into a specific area. We don't necessarily need folks just to float around because we do have lots to do and everybody will have a task as we work through that. What I'd like to do at this time is invite one of my really good friends, Victoria Stafford, to make her way on up. And she's now going to take us through this training and information for Night to Shine. So this is where you really want to lean in and listen to what she has to share. If you miss something, then you will have the opportunity to then go back through this info when I send this out tomorrow in an email with the link, okay?
Where's JP? JP, you got good friend. I got really, really good friend. I'm just teasing. He's lucky he's got so many friends that can do all this for him, huh? Hi. I get a hug later. Okay. It's good to be with you. Who's first time? First timers, raise your hand. Okay. All right. Bless your hearts. Listen, I know there's a lot of information coming at you right now, and there's even more coming right now. So don't be afraid to ask questions when we're done here, okay? I'll be around. Lauren, stand up so they can see you. Lauren, we've thrown Lauren into the deep end this year, so Lauren is here to help. Of course, Pastor Pedro, if we can answer any questions or we can get you to the right person, okay? Especially your first timers. Who else? Letitia.
So she's probably been the one that's corresponded with you the most, okay? So she can also answer absolutely any question.
Yeah. Even if you have questions of just looking at that map and you're like, okay, I've been at this church for 5 years and I still don't know which direction is what, we can help with that, okay? No problem. All right. So, Deborah, we haven't practiced, so we'll just do it, huh? Okay. All right. So let's go to the next slide there. Can you see it there? I tried to make it big enough for everybody. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about some guest interactions and general tips for communication. All right. So this information is for everybody. It feels like this might be geared towards buddies, but it is for everyone because your interaction with the guests throughout the night is important, okay? And if we're all of one mind and of like words and like actions, it's just going to make the night go that much better, all right? So the first thing you want to do is when you come to your guest for the first time, the buddies or anybody in your rooms, when they come in, make sure it's just like getting to know, I don't want to demean anything, but it really is just like getting to know an animal, okay? You don't just go right to it, okay? You need to wait to be accepted. So a gentle approach coming into their space, because it's a big deal to have their own space. We all know that we like our own space, right? So it's a big deal coming into their own space. Come slowly, approach slowly, make sure that your words are enunciated as if you're speaking from the stage. Your words are enunciated. They may have eye trouble, okay? They may have disabilities as far as being able to comprehend what you're saying. So you want to make sure everything is clear, everything is slow, all right, and very gentle, all right? So identify yourself. You can offer a handshake, even if they're not able to give you a full handshake. You want to greet these folks as if they were your best buddy standing right next to you, okay? There's no difference. They're a person with the feelings and emotions that we all have, okay? So approach them the same way, all right? And then if there's something that you're going to assist them with, then give them the opportunity to tell you what they need assisted with. They may not know, but it's just the same way if you were with any other person, okay? When you address them, just like anyone else, so I'm kind of speaking through this. Speak in your normal voice. That's hard. We want to speak to them all as if they're children, and they're not, okay? So make sure you use your normal voice, all right? Don't pitch it high. Don't pitch it low. And don't ask, are you okay? You don't do that. Just speak to them. We're going to have a great time tonight. I'm excited to be here with you. Do you want to have your shoes shined? Whatever it is, okay? All right. It's acceptable to offer a handshake during your introductions, even if the other person has limited mobility in their hands, okay? It's all right. Now that your initial formalities and introductions are out of the way, then you can ask them how to assist, okay? Let's see if I missed anything there. We do know that we are going to have some here, at least 3 that I know of, that are deaf. So we're going to be looking at that list and making sure that we're pairing them with people who want to take on that extra, okay? We're going to provide you with something to be able to communicate with them, whether it's a notebook to communicate with them in writing. We do have one that doesn't write. We do have one that's nonverbal. So there are some people that will have to match up specifically with some of you, and just be prepared and open for that, okay? All right. And we'll deal with that when it comes. You're going to have a great time, so don't worry about it. We do have several that are going to be in wheelchairs. All right. The best thing if you encounter someone with a wheelchair, don't get too comfortable. Don't lean on their wheelchair. Okay. Don't give them any reason to feel like they're falling or that you're in their personal space, okay? Don't lean on their wheelchair. If you're excitable like I am in Target and like to lift that buggy up and run down the aisles, hopefully most of you haven't seen me do that. That's not what we're doing with the wheelchairs, okay? Take it slow. Take it slower than you would walk, all right? If you feel the wind in your face, they're feeling the wind in their face, okay? All right. If there are any service animals, okay, I think we all should know this, but if you don't know that, you do not interact with a service animal until you have been given permission, okay? Do not interact with that animal at all. If you feel like you want to ask if it's okay, or if their caregiver tells you that it's okay, then by all means. But otherwise, we don't interact with the service animals, all right? If a person with whom you're speaking has a visual disability, make sure you identify yourself and any people who are with you or maybe accompanying them. You will want to identify yourself over and over again so that they get used to your voice, okay, and they know that you're the person that they're with and leading them through so that they feel safe. All right. Be patient if a person whom you're with has speaking trouble or they have trouble understanding you. Again, if you're one to speak with your mouth like this, you need to go home and practice in the mirror. Okay? Practice in the mirror. Get your 2 fingers on here and make sure that you're opening your mouth so that we can understand, they can understand. All right? If you need to speak to them, don't lord over them if they're of shorter stature or if they're in a wheelchair. Come to their level, okay? Don't do this. Don't lord over a person like that, okay? Get your mouth open. Make sure to identify yourself. Use their name often, okay? So that they realize that this is a communication between the two of you. Give your full attention to the guests. The night is all about them. If you have trouble understanding them, be polite and ask them to repeat it. If you need help, ask for help, okay? If you need help, the biggest thing of the night is if you need help, ask for help. Whether that's a buddy or if that's somebody in a room who's trying to help you, if you all need help, just keep asking for help. We'll find the right person who's going to do it. Usually that person is going to be somebody from the EMT area, okay? They're trained in more ways to handle people than we know, and so usually help will come from there. All right. Going on, preventing and handling uncomfortable situations. Again, ask for help right away. If you find yourself in an uncomfortable situation, don't be afraid to ask for help. If you can take your buddy with you and make your way to, do we have a security area this year that we can direct questions to? Is that a yes or no? Right, do you have a station though? No, you're okay. So again, if you need help with anything concerning a guest, this is for buddies, if you have any issue, you can't leave that guest. So don't leave that guest. Help steer them toward EMT or the sensory room, either one. We can get the situation calmed down, figure out what they need, okay? Don't be afraid to do that. Find a quiet place to sit. If you can't get them to move, find a quiet place to sit, okay? Bubba, wake up. Okay, all right. Behaviors are often a form. I can get away with that with him. There are some of you I want. Okay. Behaviors are often a form of communication because of an unmet need. The best way to prevent or redirect a behavior or difficult situation is to understand what the guest is trying to communicate with you. Some of the guests cannot communicate with you, so it might take you a minute to find out what it is, okay? Just like we had toddlers and now I have my dad who has dementia, it takes me a while to figure out what he might need. I have to go through the same things. Fed, need a drink, need a nap, need just a quiet time, need a juice box, need to just, sit, whatever it is. Just be patient, okay? All right, so prevention and redirect will be the responsibility of the volunteer. Listening will be the best tool to prevent and redirect behaviors. Listening with your guests should include be aware of nonverbal communication, pay attention to the tone and inflection of the person's voice, don't tune them out. Don't tune out what the person is saying because it doesn't make sense or it's not understandable, okay? Keep in mind that person's inappropriate or ineffective behaviors may be an attempt to communicate a need to you. So show that you're listening, try to summarize that conversation, go to where you can get some help, all right? Now, listen, we have had fantastic events with very minimal issues. We have been blessed, blessed, blessed. When they see the lights and hear the music, they are ready to go. So it will be a wonderful night. These are just things you need to keep in your mind in case an instance should come up, okay? Ways to prevent or reduce behaviors can be done through your observations. Pay attention to these 6 things: their mood, their posture, their response, the emotion. Be proactive and recognize these items and redirect your guest, okay? Let's see. Maintain your composure and speak kindly at all times. Don't get frustrated. If you feel yourself getting frustrated, okay, best for you to buddy up with somebody, all right? Find anybody who, Pastor Pedro, Terry Cleaver will be here. Lauren will be here, any of the pastors, any of the security in the emergency room, okay? And just tell them what's going on. It may be just something that you don't recognize. It may be a very, very easy issue to take care of, okay? All right. Okay, people first language. This is important. We want our guests to know that they are the most valuable and important people in the room. It's your job to ensure the best possible experience for your guests. Your smile, your positive, caring attitude, your listening skills will do most of the work. But there are a few items we want to touch on that will ensure that our guests will have the best prom night experience. So people first. The key thing to remember is to put the person first. They are not their disability. They are first and foremost a child of God and a person with feelings and emotions just like you. All right, so for example, my pages are not cooperating. This is why I have Pedro put my pages for the piano in a page protector and slide them around. I'm spoiled that way. All right, so people first language. Okay, so instead of saying, this disabled person, you want to say what it says up there. This is a person with disabilities. Okay, person first. They are a person first. All right, this is a person with special needs. This is a person in a wheelchair. Okay, they are not their wheelchair. They are a person that happens to be in a wheelchair. All right, instead of saying an autistic person, we say a person with autism. This is my favorite, a person with a short stature. We might have some people with a tall stature, I don't know. But make sure that it's person first, all right? Okay, so attention to details again. The first, number 1, ask for help if you need anything. All right, now these are a few real specifics for buddies. But if a buddy comes to you and they need help, you need to know that as well. If you're not a buddy, if they recognize you as somebody who's in a room that can help, these are things to know first. Buddies should never be afraid to ask for help if they're unsure how to handle a situation. Buddies will never administer any medication that may be needed, okay? On the card that, or the name tag that Pastor Pedro was talking about, they will all have name tags on like this. In fact, the buddies will have name tags on too, with the same information on the back for their buddy. Here's the number that he was talking about down here in the right-hand corner there. Everybody will have a number, and that's the one that will correspond with the numbers that are up here. It's on their card. It'll be on your card too, all right? So their name is on one side. On the other side, it gives you all the special information that you would need for the guest. This one says there are food needs. We need to cut up the food, or it's best to have handheld foods, okay? We need to know that. If it's a larger piece of pizza, it's going to be better that we cut it up for them in smaller bites, okay? Even the chicken nuggets. They get excited and they'll pop that whole thing in their mouth, may not be ready for it, okay? So if you get something like this that has any special needs, you can be reading this as soon as you're paired up as soon as you go through the registration room and you have this. You should be looking this over, okay? All right, and then this one also says it has other issues, may have crowd issues, too many people in a general area. Okay, so knowing that, you need to step your toe into a room like this. They'll be in here with lots of people when they first start, but you may find that you need to take them to the outer edges instead of right here where they're dancing on the floor, okay? So there's lots of information on here that will be specific for you. The majority of the people that are coming and talking to Letitia don't have these special things. They're just ready to go, okay? This is the one we don't want to miss. We don't want to miss because there's 1 out of 20. We don't want to miss this, okay? All right, so you'll be paying special attention to that. All right. The other issue that wasn't on here, but there will be some that may need a straw. I don't know if we've talked about that. They may not be able to drink. They may need a straw. So that may be on there, or that may be something you need to watch for. All right. So when you're in dinner, since we're talking about food, okay, make conversation with them. And we do have one. We do have one that we know that's coming that is not going to be in the dining room at all. They're being fed with a tube, so they won't even need to be in there. So make sure you're looking at the card. Lots of things you need to know. Be respectful of the guests. Here's the reason I want to talk about that dining experience, because it's easy to see a need, and you'll want to jump up and go get a napkin. You never leave your guest. Never leave your guest. There will be plenty of people in there. You can simply raise your hand and get someone's attention. Okay, say we need whatever it is. Maybe there's a spill on the table, or maybe you recognize a spill on the floor, or something like that. It's easy to want to get up and take care of it. In this instance, I'm going against all the training for my children. Don't leave your guest, okay? Don't leave your guest. Get the attention of someone who can come over and help you, all right? Okay, and then that's good. Okay, all right. The other thing is, we have found this out. They really like the dining room. Okay, let's find a limit for the chicken nuggets. 52 is probably plenty, okay? I don't know. Let's find a limit. This is one of those areas that you might have to redirect. Let's go dance. Let's go ride the limousine again, or whatever. They can ride the limousine as much as they want. They can go sing in karaoke as much as they want, okay? Redirect the attention because it's not a buffet, okay? And they don't need to eat that much. So it's just, we want to keep the energy up and offer it as a service, okay? All right, we talked about this already. We talked about this a couple of times. Location of the help centers. Make sure you know where the sensory room is, and you can look for that on the map. The medical station and the restrooms, okay? Recognize where those are. Yes, ma'am. Yes, it'll be open for you. We're going to be open from the beginning as we have the buddies down that hall and everything. So we will have, there are new to some of you maybe that this hallway down here, preschool hall, is locked now with a code, I believe, or a card to get in. I can't remember which one it is. But anyway, that will be open for us all evening long, okay? All right, so be aware of where the sensory room is for buddies, and be aware where the medical station is. Again, security is on there, but if you see them and need them while they're roaming around, you can talk to them. There won't be a specific place to set up, I guess. All right, and then dance, dance, dance. Most popular area. Stay in tune with your guests' needs while you're in here. You will find out that this is the most popular room in here. This is the dance, the prom right here, okay? You will find out that they will want to be in here. You will find out that you will tire out before your guest does, okay? So you can't leave that guest, though. Just because we're in the same room and you're thinking, well, I'll just go sit over here while they dance. I'm sorry, okay? Kick your shoes off or stand on one foot for a minute or whatever it is, okay? Don't leave your guest. And especially in this room, if they get excited and they start zigzagging around the room or rolling around on the floor or whatever, okay? Make sure that you stay with that guest. It's just important. You got to follow up on their needs. Our special guests need you to pay special attention. Okay. There may be, now that we've said that this is the most fabulous room to be in, there may be some that choose not to dance, and that's okay. If there's too much going on in this room, watch for that sign that they're getting overwhelmed. Try the sides first and see if they want to get back engaged, or just simply go to another area. They will be happy to follow you out of all the chaos if they are feeling that, okay? But most of all, have fun, have fun, have fun. All right, so here we are. Not to us, Lord, not to us, but to your name be the glory because of your love and your faithfulness. Above all else, that is our goal, that people would see and feel Jesus and that he would receive the glory he is so worthy to receive. That's the point of the night, okay? So you are showing these kids. Now, if you go back several years and you talk about us dancing in the church, you would think, well, that doesn't bring much glory. But I tell you what, we've watched Pedro learn some dance moves over the years, haven't we? I think it's acceptable. I think we'll be dancing before the Lord. But I just brought that up to tease him. And David danced. But we're not dancing in what David danced. Okay, all right. Okay, so. All right, and then last but not least, have fun celebrating your kings and queens. Don't forget the purpose of this. We don't have one king and we don't have one queen of this party. They are all kings and queens, and we're crowning every one of them, and they need to feel how special that is. All right? So again, you might feel us thanking you over and over and over again, but when this came to us from Rodney years and years ago, and he started talking to some people, we were sold. We were sold out, and we are still sold out to this. So you will hear us thanking you over and over again because we know how special of a night this is, and we know what it takes to pull this event off. And so as important and as special as each king and queen is in this room, you are that as well. We need you. Thank you.
All right, before we let you go, so that we can get around to the rooms, a couple things I want you to be aware of. One is you want to make sure that you have eaten something before you come, okay? And then you might even want to bring, a bar or a snack or something like that you can keep with you. You are more than welcome when you come on Friday. If you stop by Chick-fil-A or whatever, you want to bring that with you and eat here, and then we can throw all that away most definitely. Once we're done and the evening is over, we always have an abundance of food that's left over, from pizza to Sunnies and all that, and we just open it up for everybody to partake in as we undecorate, our areas. So please know that will be there. But once for our buddies, as you're in the dining area there with them, it's not for us to eat as it is for them. We're just there serving and participating with them. For those that are serving in the food service area, I want to talk to you about that for just a moment, because there's a couple places. One is obviously our dining room here, but then the other area will be our respite room where we're serving the Sunnies there. So we can split up between those areas, and we'll talk about that in these next little brief moments. But would you please, if you're working in that area, would you please consider playing the part of a waiter? Look the part of a waiter. Consider black slacks, a white shirt, or we can even go black and black. But something so that you're easily identifiable, okay? So that they know that you're there to serve them in that area. Also, want to talk about when it comes to the prom, it is prom. But we also want to have prom, I don't know how else to say this, but prom that is modest in how we dress, okay? Especially for our ladies. So guys, if you got a tux and you want to wear it, put it on. We have a great time. Ladies as well, we want everyone to look their best. But at the same time, we want to remember that it isn't about us, as it is about our guests that are going to be here. I will tell you this, that even if I wear my tuxedo, I will have sneakers on, okay? Wear comfortable shoes. Ladies, don't come wearing those heels that are 12 inches tall, okay? Wear comfortable shoes, because you're going to be on your feet the entire time. If you're a buddy, trust me, David Conklin, where are you? Right here. David Conklin told me that one year his watch, or whatever, his Fitbit, actually clocked 5 miles walking around the building following his buddy who wouldn't stop. Okay? So you just prepare for stuff like that. So, dress fun, but wear comfortable shoes so that you can keep going. All right, what I want to do then in the next moment is just kind of set this up for a second. If you're here and I call your name, just stand up for a second, just so that folks will recognize who the person is with the area that I'm talking about. So our parking/limo team, our coordinator there who's going to handle kind of getting everybody together is Mark Cleaver. So we've got several folks that are in that area. Our flower pinning station, Miss Annette Kahn, is going to help in that area with the team that's there. Miss Annette's here somewhere. She might be standing. There she is. Okay, there she is. I have that issue too, okay? Our coat check area is Miss Marilyn Slinker right here. All right, Miss Marilyn, thank you so much. Registration station, which is back in rooms 102 and 103, is my bride, Debs Linares, over against the wall over there. So if you're working with her. Our photo booth area, which is over here. So once the pictures are taken, the SD cards then are stuck into the computers, and we print out all the pictures. Cassandra Atkins. I don't know if Cassandra was able to be here right now. She had a home? Oh, she had a birthday. That's cool. All right. But she's done that area many, many times. So those that are working with her, you're not going to have any issues or worries there. Mark Burgess is helping us with our welcomes and greeters, getting our folks areas in the back, helping our folks get over to the respite room. And then let me make mention, too, that those greeters, once you've walked everybody and they're all back in that respite area, then your responsibility assumes how do I say it? You just end up working respite. So you end up staying in that area and working that area. Our red carpet, our paparazzi gang is Michelle Glenn. So, yeah, there she is. She's already ready. And let me tell you that those that are working in this area, you also sort of get observed. That's not observed. What is the word I'm trying to say? Yes, that word. You kind of move from that then into the general main, dance floor area once everybody's come down that red carpet, and we keep working through there. But those that are in that area, I would suggest if you would like to make a poster that says, "You look awesome," or "You are loved," or we have several. But if you want to make one and bring it, to cheer them on, I would suggest you do that. Or if you want to get pom-poms, or if you want to get, a flag, anything that will help you celebrate them, that would be fantastic. Our main dance floor is Miss Debbie Putnam's coordinating that area for us. And she has more moves than I do, so get ready. And that's a lot of fun. We do it all here. Our DJ takes us through that, and we just enjoy the music and the opportunity to do that in church. So, all right. Our hair and makeup, as I shared, is Miss Lisa Mendito, and Miss Lisa's here somewhere back there. When you wish upon a star. There you go. She's also doing my daughter's hair for her wedding, and it looked awesome the other day as they practiced. So thank you so much for all you're going to do. Our shoe shine area, Charles, I chose you. You didn't know, but I threw you in there, so I hope you're cool with that. Charles Platt is in the room, and this is really, really easy. None of these things are difficult, gang, I'm telling you. And this guy can handle it. I mean, he handles the elephants at Animal Kingdom for Disney, so I think you can handle the shoe stuff. So, But that'll be over here, and we've got all of that, so you guys will see that. Our karaoke station, Liz Morris, Miss Liz is right here, and she can sing like crazy. Just wait. No, she says no. Emily Pearson is coordinating our EMS emergency team, and so super excited to have her and this team. And again, any needs at all in any way, these guys this is what they do for a profession. They handle all of this, so they will be super ready for any needs that we have. Our respite rooms for our caregivers, Miss Lindsay Green, right here. So she is an amazing, amazing person, decorator. Pinterest has nothing on her. Okay, sensory room, Tim Putnam. If you're working in this area, He'll be hanging with Mr. Tim. We're excited to have him back in that area. Restroom patrol. This is kind of a new little area for us, but again, it's hanging in this area and making sure that we're not just hanging out in there, but we get done what we need to do and then move on with the rest of our night. But coordinating that area for us is Amy Goodrich, and so Miss Amy is here. She went so. Thank you, Amy, for serving there. Carrie Bourne was not able to be here tonight, but she's helping coordinate our food service area. And like I said, that list of folks, we're going to help split you guys up between these two areas. And again, consider coming dressed the part of a waiter. Garbage detail is what it is. Darren Goodrich is also helping us in that area. He's in the back. And, y'all, we get a lot of stuff. So we just want to clean it and get it out and take it, and so that all that's set to go. Our security team, we only give them plastic guns. So Scott Siegler is handling this area for us. Yeah. And so, no, but seriously, these guys are skilled in that area as well. And they're here to take care of us, through the night. Our maintenance team, which they're amazing, and they're here to serve, and we're helping them, really, as we come through this. But Jim Mendito, who heads our area here, is going to help us in that area, as well as James Sellers. And then we've got the last team, which is the guys that help make everything back here look awesome with our lights and things like that. Ed Maddie, David Toothaker are going to help with all of that. So we're going to dismiss and give you guys an opportunity to go to your basic areas, okay? And you can go check out. The rooms have been semi-set up. They're not necessarily decorated yet. That'll happen through this week. But it gets you an opportunity to connect with your person that's leading that area. Let them share any information you need to know. And then you can then take that map and walk the perimeter or the campus so you know where you're going to be. And then last thing is, if you have any question or an issue, you signed up today and you're not sure what you're doing yet, I'm going to stay right here with my computer and we'll settle all of that right now, okay?